What's an example of a change that's happened because of learner input, and how was it gathered and how did it influence change?
Yeah, I have so many stories I could tell around this. And I just want to reinforce like the central thesis of that question is there is this strange thing where we often don't ask the people most affected by what we're trying to do, how it impacts them and how they feel about it. And I've given this example in other cases, but when we were creating a strategic plan, I likened it to, modernizing my house. If I was going to fix up my house, before I start making changes, knocking out walls and rebuilding stuff, what should I do? I should consult with the people affected. In my house, that's my wife, my kids. They should have input. They should be involved in this, right? But if you take that same analogy and you go to schools and you say, we're going to make a change in our school, well, who's affected by it? The students are affected by it. And so often we don't even ask them. And so we then end up, making these changes, thinking it's what is going to be helpful. And we often are like misinformed, uninformed, misaligned. So I can give some concrete examples of like where student input led to surprising results. One story that I like to share is around principal of a new school. We were surveying students around what do we need to do to improve the school. And one of the things that came through the surveys was on the tetherball court, there needs to be a stripe to show which side you're on. And this is a gorgeous new school. We had attended to, we thought everything, but we didn't notice that there was no stripe there. And so the custodian one morning goes out to paint the stripe in the middle of the court. And at first I was like, why is he doing it in the morning? We have all these parents dropping off. There's big crowds of people. Why doesn't he do it at night when no one sees it? Anyway, it turned out that you had this big crowd around watching him paint this stripe. And all these kids are like, we told them they needed to paint a stripe and they're painting a stripe. They're high-fiving each other. The parents are applauding. It was like this, if it was a Disney movie, this would be like a signature moment in the movie, painting a stripe on the tetherball court. So I share that story to say, like, sometimes the things that make a difference and are actually empowering are not super complicated. And it's just blind spots that we have. And if we don't ask the questions, we don't know. If we know and we can act upon it, that builds confidence and trust for people to give you more input, more involvement. We are higher levels of trust lead to more vulnerability and openness.